Welcome to Dear Business Coach, the podcast. My name's Elizabeth. Find one thing to move your business forward today with conversations, spotlights, interviews, articles, and free resources. Listen and follow and subscribe on social media. Dear Business Coach pages and groups. Dear Business Coach podcast. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and don't forget Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, anywhere you listen to podcasts. All it takes sometimes is one little thing to move your business forward today. Thank you for coming to the Dear Business Coach podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenally well. Yeah, thanks, Elizabeth. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. And Happy New Year.
Thank you very much. Should be a great one.
Well, you know what? I would love to start with the one-liner that I have for you, and this is fantastic. Michael Jacobson, CEO of French Florist, is a disruptor to the franchising industry and the florist status quo. So that is a really good one-liner. And did you write that?
No, probably not.
Okay.
We have really talented folks on our team that do a lot of. I have the privilege of being the face of our brand, but it's not me. It's the wonderful team that gets to set me up for success, and that has brought our company to where it is today. I just get to be the face behind it sometimes.
Wow. Okay. So Michael, what happened when I talked to you is we met as podcasters, interviewers, interviewees do, and however, the chance that I had to think about what's going on in your business since we did talk brought some questions up, and some of them are related to what I think you're doing on the podcast network right now is what's changing in your business and what's who are you talking to in the franchise business, and what might some of our market expectations be around the floral business. So I do want to ask you those questions. But before I forget, to the word disruptor, the reason I asked you why, or if you wrote that, reason why I asked you that is because I do think that you would use the word disruptor for yourself as a leader potentially. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think like if I were to try to put a definition behind the word, what we're doing in our business and how we're trying to help our industry is not a 5%, a 10%, a 15% improvement. We are looking to and have historically been able to improve the florists and flower shops that we work with in an order of magnitude of performance. So, we're looking at how can we increase the performance of our flower shops by 100, 200, 300%. And we're not looking for marginal improvements. We are looking to kind of categorically improve the industry on a fundamental level.
Okay, why?
It's a great question. Let me ask you a question and see if we can get back into our answer together. So when I say French fries, what company do you think of?
McDonald's.
Yep, same. What if I say coffee, what company do you think of?
I'm a Starbucks person.
Yep, totally. I know it depends what side of the country you're on. I either get Dunkin' or Starbucks. I think both are correct, right? But same. I'm on West Coast. I do think of Starbucks as well. If I say flowers, what company do you think of?
I probably used FTD last time.
Yep, right on. So there are three dominant market players in the floral industry. FTD is one of them. 1-800-Flowers is the other one, and Teleflora is the third. So those three players all have the same business model. If I ask you what you think of FTD or 1-800-Flowers, what do you think about them?
Well, my initial idea is time, right? Expectation to time. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get what's in the picture on the day they tell me.
Yep, great, awesome. So convenience, right? If you search florist, flower delivery, Beverly Hills, flower delivery, LA, flower delivery, New York, Miami, Denver, wherever, FTD is going to pop up. You order through them. You're pretty sure that those flowers are going to show up. The problem with FTD and 1-800-Flowers and Teleflora, though, are, and some people know this, some people don't. They're not a flower company, right? They take your order and they're going to syndicate it to a local florist. And along the way, they take a 30 to 40% commission.
Hey, listeners, don't forget to subscribe to email if you haven't already. Do this at dearbusinesscoachpodcast.com. And if you are a new subscriber, look for the magazine coming up. You can get a free download as a new subscriber. That's dearbusinesscoachpodcast.com. Thanks so much, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Remember, you are a superstar.
On that order, which is insane. We have Uber and DoorDash and other platforms out there, and it's similar, can be viewed as similar in the restaurant space where these platforms, take 20 or 30% commission. But in the floral industry, the margins are already a little bit thin, and it's the same in the food and beverage. I mean, I think the food and beverage space, struggles with these platforms as well. But it's the same thing in the floral industry. We have the equivalent, but it's 30 to 40%, so it's even more aggressive. And so the problem is you're paying $100 to FTD. The florist is only getting 60 or $65 out of that. You're not going to get the experience of the full amount of money that you're paying because FTD is taking such a dominant market share of that order. Now, FTD also declared bankruptcy in 2019. They got bought by private equity, and they're kind of grasping at straws to stay alive. 1-800-Flowers is a public company as well. In terms of their floral business, they're struggling a little bit because it's an old model and it's very antiquated. And so, trying to answer the question, like, why are we trying to disrupt the floral industry? It's not just because we have this crazy ambition and financial goals, whatever. It's really not about that. It's because there's a very real opportunity that florists have a lot of pain right now. And because of these order aggregators and the dominant market players that are out there that are kind of predatory model taking advantage of these florists that are crushing their margins. And what I found about being in this industry for a long time is florists are very nice people. They're very good people. But I will say they're not always the strongest business people.
Mm-hmm.
And they know they're smart enough to say that they know that by working with these, we call them order aggregators or wire services, these brokers of the online world, they're not making a lot of money. And a lot of times, they get to a point where they look at the statements and they're very complex on purpose, where you could even do the analysis and probably come up with you're losing money on the orders that you're taking from them. And then also, it's really more than anything else. What really happens is the florist is not doing well, but also the customer is not getting the best result that they possibly can. And so everything that we do at French Florist is very client driven and customer experience focused. And if we're partnered up with the 1-800-Flowers and the FTDs out there, and they're taking a 30% commission from us, we're not able to deliver the best customer experience we can. So we don't work with them. When I came into the business, we worked with all of the different wire services that you can think of. We dropped all of them. It was very difficult to kind of lose all of that revenue, but it wasn't profitable revenue. And what happened was we were able to get more margin on those orders and take that margin and reinvest it back into our client experience. So we get higher quality flowers. We're able to invest into the technology that we have and make our operations more efficient, which also improves our margin. Take that additional margin and again reinvest it into building a better brand, building a better experience, developing surprise and delight tactics like sending our customers handwritten notes, sending our best clients big gift boxes of appreciation. Because we're not paying that 30% anymore for these wire services, we can take them and reinvest them back into our business. And it's unfortunate that the current landscape of the floral industry is dominated by these models that it's not just FTD and 1-800-Flowers. There are other models out there like website providers and agencies that they work on like a commission model and they take a percentage of revenue from the florist. And nowhere in the past 30 years of the floral industry do the florists come first. It's always the website provider comes first, or 1-800-Flowers or FTD comes first, and the florist is just kind of like, again, they're not business people. They're passionate, they're creative, they're working 60-hour weeks, and they're doing it because they love it. They understand the meaning behind flowers. But in terms of the unit economics and financially running their store, they're barely getting by. And so we're really trying to solve that pain. And when I came into the floral industry, it was the same thing. We didn't come in as disruptors. We were really just trying to solve our own pain. I took over this flower shop, and because I saw the incredible problems that the floral industry is facing, and like, look, this is an opportunity to test out with this one flower shop if we can build some technology, if we can do things a little bit better. And it turns out, we went from doing $100,000 in revenue to $10 million in revenue in this one store because of this, challenge let's not do things the way things have done before. And so now what we're doing is we're taking everything that we've learned over the past 6 years and we're franchising and allowing other florists to join to the French Florist family and kind of we're going to give them all of our technology, give them all of our supply chain, create a model where the florist is put first and we actually eat last. We're only successful if they're successful. That's the beautiful part about a franchise. And doing it in a different way than it's ever been done before. So in that way, I think we can call ourselves disruptors, but really, I think more than that, we're just trying to solve the pain that exists in the industry.
Yeah. Well, and so it sounds like you have landed on something that I have been told you just cannot do, right? And the way I'm hearing the story and the vision is kind of like, what is it what is it that people with innovative minds try to do at the beginning, right? Is find, how can I beat you in quality and in price? How can I give you the best quality? And we're going to also figure out how to beat the competitors on price. And I've been told by several people over and over and over again, you can't do that, right? You're
Yep.
not going to beat Walmart on price.
Yep.
So there must be some kind of uh, um, proprietary secret, right, to what you did in that. Are you a LinkedIn user? If you are, you can join me for LinkedIn Live Audio with Elizabeth every week, usually on Mondays at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I will have a LinkedIn Live Audio where we talk about podcasting for executives who speak and podcasting for team leaders who speak. These are the themes that are currently running. If that sounds like something you're interested, visit me, Elizabeth Walker at Work, on my LinkedIn profile. Yeah. Well, and so it sounds like you have landed on something that I have been told you just cannot do, right? And the way I'm hearing the story and the vision is kind of like, what is it what is it that people with innovative minds try to do at the beginning, right? Is find, how can I beat you in quality and in price? How can I give you the best quality? And we're going to also figure out how to beat the competitors on price. And I've been told by several people over and over and over again, you can't do that, right? You're
Yep.
not going to beat Walmart on price.
Yep.
So there must be some kind of uh, um, proprietary secret, right, to what you did in that first store to figure this out. I mean, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I think that never use the word never, right? Like I don't think impossibility is impossible. I I think that anything is possible, and to say you can't compete on both is not right to say. But it's failed a lot. If you try to compete on price and quality and service all at the same time, you get diluted a little bit in what you're really competing on, and you kind of half-ass all three of them. And so in the beginning, we did have to select one thing, and it was what's the one thing that we're going to compete on. And it actually started out on service. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to provide the best client experience that anybody's ever had, period. And whether that meant we cost a little bit more, fine. But we're not looking for the folks that are necessarily looking for the best price. We're looking for folks that are interested in the best experience. And it worked. We invested into our brand. We invested into, again, a lot of surprise and delight tactics to build lifelong relationships with our clients. And we were never charging exuberant amounts, an extra $4 or $5 or $6 or $7 on the arrangement. But we invested that fully back into the client experience, right? So we're making the same margin as any other florist, but we're providing a better experience. And we're $5 or $6 more expensive, but like, hey, it's coming straight back into the client experience. You're paying for that.
Yeah.
And that's where it started. And I'm oversimplifying it a little bit, but it was a pretty radical, obsessive focus on client experience and making sure that that became a part of our DNA. Everything that we did was, how can we turn this into not just a 10 out of 10 experience, but what's the one thing that we can do to go above and beyond and create this as an 11 out of 10 experience for our client? And we did. And what
Mm,
happened was that gained a lot of traction. That allowed us to get a lot more volume in, and what that volume allowed us to do is skip the wholesalers and purchase directly from the farmers. Now we're getting lower prices on our product, and it's higher quality product. And so now we're starting to get better margins. And what are we going to do? We're going to reinvest that back into the client experience again by lowering our prices a little bit and just passing that discount along to the customer. So now, eventually, because we were very singularly focused on the client experience, that allowed us to get more margin, reinvesting that back into our supply chain and our technology. Technology has allowed us to run a lot more efficiently as well, improving our margin. And then we can charge lesser price to the client as well. So to this day, we're not the cheapest
mm.
florist that you'll ever go through, but we're very, very competitive on price. But that wasn't the priority. So today we do compete absolutely on service quality and price. I think that it would be hard to find another florist out there that can provide the same value that we do. If you're buying $100 arrangement from us versus $100 arrangement from somebody else, I think you're going to get a lot better result from us. But it was one step at a time to get through that, and it really started with service. And still, if we were to prioritize which one is the most important, we're very clear that service is still the most important to us today.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. I mean, how many times do I have the experience where if I have to correct a mistake after the fact, that's a breakdown in service, and you probably lose the customer for next time.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want the cheapest option out there to begin with, but for the sake of uh, shooting the what here over how you enter the marketplace, because your story is so fascinating. I kind of wanted to get your
Well,
perspective on that, because it is, because in a way, because to make that quality competitive is a feat. So
let
um
me talk about price. I think it could be really interesting with you and
okay.
the perception of price, because it's interesting that you say,
Okay.
I don't want the cheapest, right? And normally people don't want the cheapest. Um, and that's really interesting to me. I think that one brand that I really like in terms of the work that they've done to position themselves in the marketplace as a luxury brand, but still providing price points that are an attainable level is Tiffany's. So Tiffany's is the jeweler. And when you go into Tiffany's, you view them as, or at least I do, I view them as kind of a premium expensive brand. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Or costly. That's, if you're going to go in there, you're going to, your wallet's going to be hurting, for a few days.
Right. Agreed.
However, I will say, if you go into Tiffany's you need to go, so they're not competing on price fully, right? If you go into Tiffany's though, you will notice that they do have some options that are $30,000 for a necklace. They also have an option where it's $300 for a
Mm.
necklace. And I'm not saying that $300 is a small amount of money. It's not. But there's a price point that they offer that is very attainable. The beautiful part about Tiffany's is if you're buying a $30,000 necklace or if you're buying a $300 necklace, in both of those cases, you're getting the turquoise box. And that's what makes Tiffany's so special is the turquoise box. It's not necessarily how much you spend on the necklace. It's the turquoise box that you get, and that's a beautiful thing. And we have adopted that in French Florist as well, where we position our brand as a premium luxury brand. We provide a luxury experience, but what we're able to do is, somebody who's doesn't want to spend their whole entire paycheck on flowers for their partner, they can come into our store, they can buy a $35 wrap bouquet, and they're still getting the French Florist brand and the French Florist experience. And it's a very, very premium luxury feeling because it is, but they're not having to spend $3,000. The flip side of that, though, is we have a client that wants to come in and spend $3,000 with us. Sure, no problem. We work with Dior, Cartier, Louis Vuitton, Van Cleef, all of these other brands that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars with us, and they feel comfortable doing that because of our premium image and because of
Mm.
the quality. Ultimately, we have to deliver on the quality that we're promising, right? But so we're able to serve two different clients, these folks that are looking for a luxury experience. Again, still not the cheapest florist out there, but it's still an attainable price point. And we're also able to cater to the folks that are wanting to spend more money on flowers. And that's a really powerful thing. I know we're supposed to only choose, the traditional marketing model is like who's your target customer.
Mm.
Uh, for us, it's not really about that. It's really what's the feeling that we want to invoke. And flowers are a very special thing. We could go down the rabbit hole of how meaningful flowers are in and of themselves. And we don't think that we need to only sell our flowers to the folks that want to spend $1,000. Not at all.
Mm.
We're happy to, but we also want to serve the folks in a meaningful way that can't necessarily afford that.
Right. And I can come to you and make an occasion special, even if I want it to be for one date. Not necessarily, maybe I don't need a dozen to express, that occasion that day. And it
Yeah.
needs to also be the effect and the feeling that you're evoking. And you're absolutely right. You know what? I this is a little bit of a goofy story, but I want to
Love it.
share this with you because I'm now recalling that this Tiffany story that you so well shared with me, that example, when we talked once before, and it stuck with me. And now I'm realizing that over Christmas, I created a small a grab bag for a
Yeah.
party. And so none of the presents were labeled, and all of the grab presents were around the cheapest one was $9. The most expensive one was 16. And what I did, because you talked with me that day, is I wrapped every little present with extra silver sparkling tissue paper on the inside. And I got a couple of comments about the wrapping, and I think it made a difference.
Absolutely. I think that is so understated. And especially we're in an industry that's a commodity product. You can buy flowers from your grocery store, and you should buy flowers from your grocery store. You should buy them for yourself too. Our clients are typically buying as a gift from one person to another. But that being said, I think that the reason people buy from us is the unexpected surprise and delight and the extra mile that we go. So that extra silver wrapping paper that you put in there is meaningful, and flowers are meaningful. It's not even about the flowers, it's about the message behind them and that they convey, right? And the message that you are conveying is there's a lot of care and emotion and like ultimately connection that you want to share with other humans by wrapping that present in silver. You're making a statement that this is something that's meaningful, and we're meaning making machines, right? And so for us, I mean, like we even go so far as to the uniforms that our staff wear and that I wear on the inside of our collar of our jackets here, there's a little embroidery that says "You are loved." And
Really?
nobody sees that. Nobody sees that except for the person who's wearing it. And that makes them feel good. That tiny little thing that made it from a beautiful uniform, it's a 10 out of 10. This little thing just made it an 11 out of 10. And none of our clients see it, none of our customers, none of our vendors, but the employee and me, when I put my uniform on in the beginning of the day, I see that and that makes me feel good. And that's like a hidden, luxurious, meaningful moment. And so those small things matter. That silver wrapping paper matters. It really matters. So that's amazing. I like that a lot. And we're very much aligned on making things extra special that way.
Well, I thank you, because it was talking to you that day that made me think about that. And that's exactly what I was thinking when doing that. I was hoping that the person receiving the gift could even visualize me thinking, oh, I think this would be a fun present to open for the intended party.
100%.
Um, well, okay, so now this is I know I just have a few seconds left, and with you, and don't let me run over. So FrenchFlorist.com is where I can go to I'm actually on French Florist right now. And so just like it sounds, FrenchFlorist.com is the main URL. If I want to talk to you or learn more about franchising,
Yeah.
is there a way? What's the best way to start there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the website that has a lot of information on it regarding our franchise program is FrenchFloristFranchise.com. And we're franchising in two different ways. For folks that are, maybe have worked corporate for a long time and they've always wanted to be their own boss, but they hear the statistics on how risky it is to start your own business. They don't want to make that leap by themselves. A franchise program is a great thing for them. There are great franchise systems out there, and obviously there's some franchise systems that are less than great out there. So do your due diligence. But our franchise program is set up for folks that have always wanted to start their own business, but don't want to do that. They want to be in business for themselves, but not by themselves, right? And
Hmm.
so our business is really good in giving them the support and infrastructure and supply chain and technology and training, everything they need to run their flower shop in a really successful way. So that's what we specialize in. That's one way that we're franchising. Another way that we're franchising is we're actually partnering with existing flower shops. And there are a lot of flower shops that are really great people, really great operators, great culture, great employees, great client service, but they're struggling with the business side of it, the email marketing, the supply chain, the standard chart of accounts, the technology, the operational support, all of that stuff. We call that the boring stuff. We're really good at the boring stuff, I will say. And you have to be, right? And so we can give them a lot of our support in that way. And we have a lot of florists that are joining the French Florist family, and we can help take their shop to the next level as well. So whether you're an existing flower shop owner or looking to get into business and provide, do something meaningful and become a business owner and give back to your community as a business owner, we can help in both ways. So FrenchFloristFranchise.com has a lot more information on it. But yeah, get in touch with us. We're always happy to have a conversation. It's never an obligation. Um, just trying to make the industry a better place.
Okay, well now what will happen on the screen here is for those of you who are watching the French Florist and French franchise. Sorry, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Um, that's what happens when you try to do two at the same time. Um, okay. So I know that you said it and I've said it. FrenchFloristFranchise.com will be on the screen too as well. So you can read that in the show notes and on the video for this interview. And what is happening for you on Valentine's Day this year?
Yeah. Yeah. Valentine's Day is really a all you can eat buffet. We love Valentine's Day. And we're delivering roses to every girl and I'm sure a lot of guys too, in the cities that we serve. But it's an amazing, amazing time. It really is an all you can eat buffet. And at some point we have to stop eating because we get so full. And so the advice that I have for, the listeners out there, if you're trying to order flowers for Valentine's Day, order in advance, order as ahead of time as you possibly can. At some point, all of our shops stop taking orders. That's how much demand we have on Valentine's Day. So we love happy birthday, happy anniversary, congratulations, and things like that. That's really the occasions that we love because they happen every day, and it's everyday moments that matter the most. We love Valentine's Day, but it's definitely an all-you-can-eat buffet. So, yeah, wish us luck.
Good luck.
Thank you. Take it.
Well, so I need to place my order and get ready.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
yes. Okay. So well, what I would like to say is I appreciate you taking time and um unpackaging, experiencing the unpackaging of receiving what a French florist experience might be like. And I hope to have you back sometime soon. So I hope you have a great holiday in the
Absolutely.
meantime.
Yeah, thank you very much. Happy New Year. It should be a really fun one ahead. If we can catch up in the near future, we'd love to do that as well.
Awesome. All right. Well, Michael Jacobson, thank you so much. You have a great day.
Awesome, Elizabeth. You too. Cheers.
Take care.
Bye.
Find one thing to move your business forward today with conversations, spotlights, interviews, articles, and free resources. Listen and follow and subscribe on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and don't forget Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, anywhere you listen to podcasts.